This is 3 News Daily.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to 3 News Daily on your Monday, January 15th on this Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day. I'm Stephanie Haney. Thank you for being with us here in Northeast Ohio, where the bitter cold temperatures are leading emergency shelters to open around our area, like this emergency overnight shelter. It's on East Forest Street in Akron, and it'll be open tonight starting at 7 p.m. Now, to give you an idea of what's at stake here, this particular center first opened in 2011. That was when a ministry service found a man frozen to the ground. Thankfully, we can tell you that man survived, but it was too close of a call for Akron's leaders.
And Bill said, never again on my watch. So ever since then, we've been going out whenever the temperature gets to be 15 degrees or lower and getting people out of the extremely cold, dangerous weather.
Now, this particular center also offers clothing and a warm meal to the people who need it. If you live in a different area, there are more resources available if you don't have a warm place to stay. If you or someone you know needs a place to go, please check out our website, WKYC.com. We have a list of warming shelters in our area. And with that cold weather settling in, a lot of people are worried about protecting their pipes in their homes. Ace Hardware has tips for us today. They say open cabinet doors. That lets warm air circulate around the plumbing. And they also suggest leaving a trickle of water running in pipes that usually freeze to stop them from doing that. All right, now we are continuing to follow developing news this afternoon. The mayor of Elyria says an investigation is underway after a woman says police who raided her home had the wrong address and that it sent her already sick toddler to the hospital. Police say before Friday's raid on Parmalee Avenue, they set off 2 flashbang devices outside of the home. And the woman who lives there says her 17-month-old child suffered burns and a lack of oxygen. She also says police told her they raided the wrong house. Now, Elyria police, however, deny both of these claims. They say the raid was conducted at the correct house and that EMTs on the scene found the toddler did not sustain any apparent injuries. The mayor says his team is currently reviewing all information, including police body camera footage. Now we have an update for you now after a weekend incident at Steelyard Commons. 2 people are now under arrest. This is after an off-duty Cuyahoga County Sheriff's deputy was hit by a car. On Saturday afternoon, the deputy was trying to arrest a suspected shoplifter when a woman drove her car into both the deputy and the suspect. The suspect and the driver were both arrested. And thankfully, we can tell you no one was seriously hurt. Now, an Ohio law on social media was supposed to go into effect today, but it is still on hold in the courts. The Social Media Parental Notification Act would require parental consent for kids to use social media. Now, the law's intention is to protect minors from inappropriate content, mental health issues, and data privacy concerns while using social media. However, there's a challenge to that. Groups like Net Choice that represent tech giants filed lawsuits arguing that the social media law violates the First and 14th Amendments because it's too vague and impedes free speech. We spoke to a Northeast Ohio attorney, Rich Sarkar, about why the law has been put on hold in Ohio.
All the judges that have analyzed this think that this places too many limits on First Amendment rights to access information and things of that nature.
Critics argue that this law could deprive minors of educational resources, community engagement, and political activism. And as we said, for now, federal judges have put a temporary block on the law. Now, today, the Iowa caucuses kick off primary election season in the U.S., and the world is watching as we wait to see, among other things, whether President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump will have a rematch for the 2024 presidential election. Now, we've put together a special In the News Now primer. This is on how the caucuses work and what to expect as those results come in from the Iowa caucuses. You can find that on our WKYC Plus streaming app and also on the WKYC YouTube page. And today is Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and there are plenty of ways to celebrate Dr. King's legacy across Northeast Ohio. Just to name a few, the Cleveland Orchestra is holding an open house and day of music until 5 p.m. at the Severance Music Center. The Cleveland Cavaliers are hosting MLK Jr. Night tonight for their game against the Chicago Bulls. And all week long, Difference Maker Days is going on at the Cleveland Aquarium to highlight the people breaking barriers in marine science. We have a full list of events which go all through this week on WKYC.com, so make sure you check that out. Now, speaking of Dr. King, building bridges and breaking barriers is not just a catchy theme. It is precisely what Dr. King tried to do right here in Northeast Ohio. So it's only fitting that the Cleveland Public Library is building a new state-of-the-art facility in honor of the civil rights icon. Our Leon Bibb put on his hard hat to give us a first look at some unique features serving as building blocks for this new structure.
It is nestled in a corner of one of the most important crossroads of America, perhaps even of the world, because Cleveland's University Circle is like no other landscape on the globe. More cultural, medical, and educational institutions in about 1 square mile than anywhere else. Now add another cultural gemstone. Under construction is a new Cleveland Public Library Martin Luther King Branch to soon replace the old one.
It's going to be 30,000 square feet of new collections, programming, AV technology, community gathering spaces, and performance spaces.
John Lang, in charge of the library system's buildings and grounds, was part of a walkthrough of the new building still under construction. This is a $20.5 million project, part of a sweeping $100 million upgrade of all the system's branches. The new MLK branch is designed as a centering point in the Cleveland Cultural Hub.
All of these major institutions in University Circle, you like the idea of having a big footprint right here.
Well, we should, right? Cleveland Public Library as an institution is an institution at the level of our great institutions.
Often referred to as the People's University for its free access, Thomas emphasizes how the library is a storehouse of knowledge and a place of gathering. There will be a first-floor space for performances and community events. As we walk through the structure, now filled with construction equipment, visible were references to the civil rights work of Martin Luther King.
And residents are up there, right?
Next floor, exactly.
Okay. There are King's words and philosophy carved into the building's foundation. Next door is the current MLK branch, where I spoke with Thomas and library supporter, Cuyahoga County Executive Chris Ronayne about the new building and how it is inspired by the great civil rights leader.
The legacy of Dr. King remains in the city of Cleveland through the Cleveland Public Library, with an opportunity for our young people to learn about Dr. King's history for many generations to come.
Having conversations between races, people of all different faces, but people of all different age cohorts. That's something that I think we can really work on in the matters of justice.
Over the generations, libraries have evolved into more than collections of literature or videos. Increasingly, they have become gathering places.
The library itself is the community gathering space. You know, it's the foundation.
The idea is to make the MLK Library a community space in more ways than one. Above the library itself will be 9 floors of apartment living, apartments on top of the library. All of this will make this facility a gemstone in University Circle, uptown.
We've always been one of those institutions that everyone feels like they can be a part of.
Perhaps we get to know each other better because of the Cleveland Public Library.
This is Cleveland's University Circle, generations ago also called Uptown. Here things indeed are looking up. There is a rebirth as the new are being added to the old. Among the new growth in this culturally fertile soil is the state-of-the-art MLK branch of the Cleveland Public Library. It is expected to open in January 2025, appropriately on Martin Luther King Day. For 3 News, I'm Leon Bibb.
Thank you very much, Leon. And coming up tonight at 7, in place of Front Row, we'll have a full special dedicated to the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. right here on 3, so make sure you check that out. All right, thanks for being with us for today's edition of 3 News Daily. Wherever you are watching or listening, we appreciate you. Enjoy your Monday. Have a great start to your week, and we'll see you back here tomorrow with more top stories from around Northeast Ohio.